Hi. So, 2 minutes a day is 1 hour a month. And what is that all about? Well, when you go about your daily activities, you have a bunch of this thing that I call in-between time. And things that I'd consider in between time would be, say you're on the toilet, you're stuck in traffic, you're on a break at work or at school, maybe you're eating, assuming you're eating alone, you're taking a shower, you're on a walk going somewhere, you're in a grocery store, all this time that just you're not really doing anything per se productive, but not maybe anything unproductive either, You're just it just fills up your day. So, what I'd recommend is that you slowly start incorporating positive habits, preferably something like learning or journaling, into these in-between times. So when I say like positive habits and like learning, something like books, audiobooks, podcasts, online courses, these types of things are a much better way to spend that time than just, well, let's be honest, like on your phone. How many of you grab your phone when you're on the toilet? That's like, I know some people don't, but like, I also know a lot of people do. So the point is really that, like, during that small amount of time, you could be doing something better. And yeah, journaling is also a very good idea. Gratitude, obviously. You could be thinking back to whatever you just did, both the good and bad parts of it, maybe how to do things better. You could be planning out whatever you're gonna be doing soon or right after. And yeah. Another thing that isn't really in between time, but relates to this same subject matter, is when you're taking part in instant gratification. Let's say you're watching a show on Netflix or you're playing a video game. What I'd recommend is, well, let's say you're playing a video game, put on an audiobook or a podcast or something like to play in the background. And this is really just something that you add to things you were already doing. And like, if you were gonna be watching a show or something, maybe listening a little bit or having like a book or something that you read, like a sentence or something from every now and then. And you may think this is like pretty silly, but like, well, let's see. So yeah, you want to only do this, combining your instant gratification negative habits with this positive thing, whenever you were gonna be doing that instant gratification anyway. So you cannot replace hard work with this multitasking, doing instant gratification and working at the same time. That will not be beneficial. By no means. And because this isn't work. Now it's fun time. Now you're doing whatever. But you can get some benefit out of it. Which is why you put on whatever in the background. Yeah. I just really want to address that point. You cannot replace your normal hard work with this. But if you work for, let's say, hours, like really diligently, and then you decide, and I'm not per se recommending that you should be taking part in instant gratification by any means, but if you really think about whether or not you want to, and you come to the conclusion that you're okay with it, you'll accept the responsibility and the consequences of this choice, and you decide to, let's say, play an hour of video games, then you could put something on in the background that's actually somewhat educational. Because even if you get like one line out of it, it's better than nothing, right? Yeah. But one more time, this does not replace hard work. This is only something you can put on while you're doing something fun. This does not mean that while you're doing hard work you can do something fun. Alright, now. This may seem pretty insignificant that you, let's say, read while on the toilet instead of looking at your phone. You may think like, yeah, okay, but I'm not on the toilet that long, or like listening to a podcast in traffic or something. You may think like, well, yeah, but I'm not gonna get that much out of it, and something like that. Back to the video's title. 1 minute a day is an hour a month. What is an hour a month a year? 12 hours. What is 12 hours? That's 1 or 2 books, depending on how fast you read. Maybe even 3. But like, let's go with like 1 or 2. Some people don't read a single book in a year. Meanwhile, while you're sitting on the toilet, if you just had a damn book in the bathroom that you always grabbed when you went to the toilet, you'd be reading like 1 or 2 books a year. Just from that. Assuming you spend 2 minutes a day in the bathroom, which I don't think is all that, you know. I think that's pretty realistic considering. Sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes shorter, but like, I'd say that's a pretty reasonable estimate that you'd at least spend that much time. And that's just one thing. Now add the traffic, the breaks, the time you're in the shower, in the store, like all that little stuff adds up a lot. And like, sure, sometimes you can concentrate like fully. Like, let's say you're once again in the traffic, maybe you have to, you know, concentrate a bit on something else. If you're the one driving, then you very well might have to concentrate on that a bit. And even if you're not, maybe you, let's say you're in a bus, you probably want to pay that much attention that you're not going to miss your stop. But like, let's be honest, most of the time you aren't doing anything productive, but you could. Now, let's say you have like 5 minutes a day instead of that 2. That would be maybe like, let's say, around 4 books a year now. 5 minutes a day. Anybody can find 5 minutes a day. Like, if you... I bet some people spend 5 minutes a day on the toilet alone. Probably even more time. You know? It's so easy to find these little bits of time that will add up a lot. Now let's say you make it to 10 minutes. If we go with that previous 4 example, now it's 8 books. And obviously I'm only talking about books here. I'm not talking about podcasts and audiobooks and, well, I mean, I guess audiobooks work in a similar way, but like, you get the point that like, this is how much you're missing out on. There's so much great knowledge in books, yet nobody reads. And even if you don't like to read all that much, which I think you'd probably grow to like if you actually sat down and did it, but even if you really don't, how about on the toilet? Get a book and start reading on the toilet. If you spend 2 minutes a day on the toilet reading, that'll be 12 hours of reading a year. And depending on the speed of your reading and how long or short the books are, that could be multiple books. Yeah. Try to find some in-between time in your days and try to think of how to fill it as productively as possible. Yeah. See ya.